Alright, so this is going to be a response made by fringe elements who I agree 100% on the situation. Now, the point he's trying to make is that there's this welfare status who's, I don't know if he's a welfare status or not, but he's advocating free lunch. Okay. And he's advocating the mass extortion of this policy. It's necessary for extortion throughout a whole region just to get this free lunch for students, so that students can perform better in school. And regardless, the point I'm trying to make here in this video is that I'm going to target how, as a libertarian, I consider this ridiculous, not in the sense of an ethical discuss of it, like, oh wow, this is an extortion racket right here, paying people for stuff that they don't want under the force of eventual violence, but rather in a different case. See, the way I see it is that this guy made the flaw of thinking that it could be state funded for economic policy and that it turned out 100% fine. Well, think about it like this. You still have to balance out the fiscal. So there's no unlimited range, which stinks because there's a fallback zone. A case of relative error. You see, markets are unpredictable, especially here with these Keynesian cycles of doom. And so if you think that you have, $1,000 and you need these $1,000 to start a school, and that $1,000 goes for the free lunch program for, let's say, a whole semester. But then you realize that prices are changing because of central bankings and federal subsidizations, and so you need $1,400. Now, why am I mentioning this? I'm not insulting Keynesian economics right now. Well, because there's relative error that's going on. And you can't rely on the state to provide welfare because the states aren't prepared for relative error. We are prepared for relative error. The market can handle, an unnatural change in budgets because it's so dynamic and loose. It's not like a rock where if you build up a lot of pressure, it'll break. If you build up a lot of pressure on rubber, which is like the market, it'll stretch out. And of course, with this, you understand that because we have a limited fiscal, and I think there should be no fiscal since I want markets let free. This is going to be a ridiculous idea for free lunch subsidized by the state, because the state does not have the full demands of society. It can't plan out the future, it can't predict it, and it won't be ready in case relative error occurs. But let's say it does. Let's say that the state's on the money with the budget. They say that for a whole semester of free lunch, it's $1,000, and it turns out to be $1,000. The market doesn't, gyrate enough to damage that budget. And what's going to happen is this. Sorry for my ramblings. What's going to happen is that there's going to be a bit of a gradient. That means one school will get its demands, but not to say another in that community. So what's going to happen is that they're going to fight for funding. Kind of like when a master gives its dog a bone, and there's another dog that's like, wrestling that other dog for that bone or steak, maybe. Because, they're hungry for that bone or steak. That's essentially what's happening. That's why there's this war on funding, and, schools that perform the best get the most fundings. The ones that don't get the least fundings, or less fundings. And welfare can be provided via market. Let's say that there's several firms, and yeah, they have large excessities in profit, and they think, what are we going to do with this money? So let's get a small portion, find some other firms that have a lot of profit that they don't need, and let's take this profit and let's open up programs for free lunch. That's what they do. Or rather, maybe they can get investors and people who will invest money on these welfare firms so that they can keep updating it. And the ones that perform the best get the investments. So with this, there will be a competition for welfare, and there won't be that insane relative error that's damaged by the fiscal, or those gradients that happen everywhere around a community, because some people have more of a demand, some people have less of a demand, some people are on that money, but that's rarely the case, and it wouldn't matter if everyone around them was going to hell or shit fields. But that's my argument. Sticking with it. There's a bit of a gradient and relative error that damages, state funding, and it's not a very good idea for free lunch or free anything. So I'm not going to say that, boo, this is an extortion racket, slavery, or all that stuff, because, well, it's been said before. I'm just sticking to what I know, and what I know is that it's more efficient to leave welfare to market, because there's a place for that where you can find prosperity in that. So let me know what you think, friend gentlemen. Am I an idiot? Am I thinking of something that's good? Because at this point I don't know.